Hope everybody's doing good tonight. I'm going to hang out for a little while again here on Saturday evening. I'm going to try to do more lives this year than I did last year. Just try to stay connected to you all. I'm not able to do a ton with the comments in the comment section. I just get completely overwhelmed with that. I feel like maybe doing the lives and staying connected is a good way to take care of that. So I'll come on, once every week or couple weeks or whatever. Say hi to you guys, answer your questions, have some fun like we always do. We are exactly 2 weeks into the new concrete season, and things are they're all right. We've been getting some work done, of course, but we've been dealing with some weather too. It's been raining, it's been cold. You guys saw the first pour of the year, which was, well, the first setup, the first job of the year. It was snowing, and it's still pretty cold. We've had some nice days mixed in, but Monday they're talking a mix of rain and snow in the morning, believe it or not. And it is, what is Monday? Monday's May, right? Right? Yeah. Yeah. Monday's the first day of May, and they're talking about a rain snow mix. How fun is that? But we're getting jobs done. I've been signing work. I signed up another big one this morning on the spot, which was interesting. It was a new construction, pretty good sized job, and I bid it what I thought was kind of middle of the road, a little high, because the job's not super easy. It's not too difficult, but it has some issues to deal with, some obstacles to overcome. But when I gave him the bid, he said, "Your bid is lower than the other guy," and that surprised me because I don't get that very often at all. So it helped me. I don't think the guy wanted the job because of those difficulties I was talking about, which really isn't that big of a deal. So he signed on the spot, so that was good. We got work coming in. We got leads coming in. We are in good shape. So, yep. Can I get a hat? So I did explain this in the video that I just put out. I got all the merchandise, like this is one of the sweaters or hoodies, I should say, and so forth. Thank you, George. But I'm not ready to start shipping anything out quite yet. So I'm having a shed built starting this coming Thursday. It should be done in a couple weeks, and then we're going to work on, the shipping methods and so forth. But we're pretty close. So I can't just start, sending hats out, wherever and from different places and different requests. Just be patient, and I promise you that everything will be cool. The website is done and it's ready to go. 2,500 cash for the Mustang. Come on. Yeah, the Mustang's for sale. I did have some offers. I think all three of them were from out of state, across the country, people wanting to fly in and drive the Mustang home. I don't think that's a good idea. The Mustang is not like your typical daily driver. It has performance work done to it. It has a Pro Charger on it. It's very loud. It's fast. It's not really a comfortable car that you would want to take across the country. I just don't think that's a good idea. So I'm looking for somebody that's local, or if you're willing to travel and trailer it, that would be fine. But I don't want to, I don't want somebody to come and buy the car and then it breaks down halfway across the country, and then they're unhappy with the purchase. It's not really the kind of car that it is. It's more of a fun car. Thank you, Woody and Buzz. I appreciate that. It's not that serious of a car. She'll make it. Yeah, I know. I just don't want to. Probably would, but I don't know. I don't want to take the risk of disappointing somebody. Thank you very much, Martin. Shipping worldwide. Unfortunately, I'm not going to do shipping worldwide to start out with. I need to really learn the shipping process, just, in the United States first. So we're going to start out with that. Eventually, once I learn how to kind of get that done, because I'm just not familiar with it. It's not something I've ever done before or attempted to do. Once I kind of get a feel for how that all works, then eventually we'll add the worldwide shipping for the merchandise. So the goal of the website, I know people have mentioned different websites, and I could have just sold my merch through them or through a different company. I was selling my merchandise through a company, and I was unhappy with it. But I have a second kind of goal in mind, is eventually I'm going to be selling more than just hoodies and hats. So I want to have a good, solid, established website where I can start adding products which I won't mention now, but down the line, it'll be a website that not only sells the merchandise, but it will sell other items as well. So I don't want to use a merchandise company. I want that flexibility and have full control over the website to add things and take things away, and I can work on it myself. That's kind of one of the main reasons I did it. Plus, I was just unhappy with the merch company. There was nothing wrong with them. They fulfilled the orders just fine, but they did take it like the most of the money. Didn't leave me much. All right, looking at some questions here. Thank you, Bowling Company. Appreciate that. Eric the Destroyer. I knew somebody had brought that up. Yeah, Grub Mud, what's going on, buddy? Better than Teespring. Yeah, all those kind of companies, I mean, they get the job done, but I mean, if you've been selling shirts, Bobby, you know how that goes. You know what I mean? It's like I just feel like I've been taken advantage of, honestly. So yeah, so I knew that question or that comment was going to be raised about Eric scratching the new truck. So I mean, you guys saw I dealt with that. I mean, it was an accident, and unlike other people in my past, when there was an accident, Eric, like, he genuinely felt really bad about it. He didn't even want to eat lunch. I edited the video, obviously. He didn't. Thank you, Nicholas. Thank you, Hunter. He felt bad. He didn't want to eat lunch. I had to talk him into letting me buy him lunch because he was like sick to his stomach that he did that. So when there's an accident and somebody is, actually sorry for what they did, that means a lot to me as a boss. I mean, I'm not the type of guy that's gonna start yelling and screaming and throwing stuff. That's just not my personality, and it really does nobody any good. So, Eric, I think Eric's gonna come through and try to repair it at some point. Eric's doing good. So that's really all there is to the situation. I mean, I'm disappointed that my very expensive brand new truck got scratched, but it's just a scratch, and in the perspective of, all the people and things I got going on in my life, that scratch is really not that important to me. You got to view everything with the proper perspectives. The biggest size hoodies will be triple extra large. Anthony, thank you very much. Get back to work. Sun's out in Washington. If there's like periods, guys, I'm just trying to read. There's a lot of questions coming by and scrolling. Martin, thank you very much. A lot of questions, lots of comments. Thank you very much for joining in. Okay, here's a question. What's your plan for the land you are buying? Ryan, good question. I did explain this already, but I'm going to try to make a building on it next year, a commercial building, the first commercial building. The plan is, and I have kind of an overhead drawing, um, very early on drawing. Nothing's approved or whatever, but I'm working with a company. So the idea is eventually, when everything is done, that land will have four buildings on it. One of them being just mine, the rest being rental shops, I guess you could say, for contractors and woodworkers and I don't know whoever else businesses. So that's the plan. But my goal is to get one building up and built by the end of next year. We'll see if that happens. It's mind-boggling to me. I've never built anything, and the whole process is gives me a little anxiety, to be honest. But we'll work it out. It's fun too. It's very fun. How is Junior? He's doing good. Thank you very much, Martin. Appreciate that from the Czech Republic. Junior text still messes. I mentioned this. I don't know how many times, but Junior and I still communicate regularly. I communicate a little bit with his dad, but that era is over permanently. Frank says hi from New Jersey. Thank you very much. Do you want your company to get big where you sit back and send your employees out? That's a great question. Base Boost Raid asks. No, I don't. I am very happy with the current size of my business, and I don't intend to grow the business at all. I could easily grow the business. I could sell enough work to sustain a very large business with the amount of leads that I come in. I have no desire to do that. My company used to be bigger than it is now, but I shrunk it back down to where I feel comfortable. I love working on the crew. I love pouring concrete. I know it sounds funny to some people. They're like, oh, well, your dream as a business owner should be to step back off the field and just manage because that's not everybody's dream. That's not my dream. I would be miserable if I stepped back and just managed and did sales and sat behind this keyboard, all day long. That would not make me happy. I'm doing right now what I want to do, and I want to pour concrete with my guys. I love the camaraderie. You guys know that I'm a people person. I love joking with people. It's fun for me. And I think you guys get the sense watching the videos that I just love the interaction constantly with my guys. And I like to see my guys grow and do good. And, that's where I find enjoyment for work. And that's where I want to be. I'm where I want to be right now. So thank you, Greg, from Iraq and Natty. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. How do you deal with customers who are constantly asking questions while you're trying to work? Matthew, I really don't mind questions. There are a few customers that ask too many questions, and the best approach is just to be patient and answer their questions. If you purposefully become rude to a customer to try to, communicate to them that they're asking too many questions, you're probably going to cause a problem for yourself where they're going to find something wrong with the project, even if it's the smallest thing. So just be patient, answer their questions, get the job done, take your check, and move on to the next job. That's my advice for customers that are asking too many questions and kind of just hovering. I know how it is; they hover over you. Thank you very much, Cameron. I appreciate that. Do you think you'll have Junior for a day? I've answered this many times. It's an open invitation. He's welcome to come in any day he wants. I don't know that he will. Jonathan says he started his own company. I think I recognize your name, Jonathan. I think I got a package from you yesterday. I didn't open it yet, but thank you for whatever it is. I appreciate that. Check out Jonathan's pool channel. I don't know what the name of the channel is. Do you ride bicycles? Interesting question. I do have a bike. I don't ride it much. My family, every family member has their own bike, including my wife. And every once in a while, I'll ride the bike. So I like riding bikes. It's good exercise. And we have a really quiet neighborhood, very safe for the kids and for riding. Not much traffic here. So yeah, it's enjoyable for sure. Have you ever put thought into collaborating with other YouTubers down the road on a project? Yeah, I mean, I thought about it, Andre. I got together with Dirt Monkey last year. I got together with Muddy Feet down in Texas, concrete pumping. So I've done some videos with other guys, but not really on a project. It's very difficult because, um, you know, you're just so busy. It's hard to try to cooperate with somebody that's maybe on the other side of the country, and you're going to schedule a trip and go down there and work on his project. You have weather in the mix. What if there's bad weather and it doesn't work out? So it's really risky, and it's probably not worth the effort. Not in my during my season anyway. Thank you, Doug. You said he passed me the other day in the dump truck. Yeah, I was driving the tandem axle the other day. So we have poured a few jobs since you guys saw there'll be another video 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. You guys will see the next pour of that pervious concrete driveway that we removed. The video will be out tomorrow morning. Got my own wood. Genki said he has his own wood flooring business in Belgium. Thank you very much. Good luck to you in the future. David, thank you very much as well. So David gave $50 for my son. Oh, Daniel. Yeah, oh man. I'll try to get Daniel down here. I don't know if I have that on me. I might. But Daniel will absolutely go bananas. That's obviously to a 7-year-old kid. That's like big bucks. So I got $100. I got $100 bill right here. That's all I got is 100. So if anybody else wants to donate a 50, I'll give them the full $100 bill. I'll have him come down here and I'll give it to him on camera, and I'm pretty sure that he'll light up. If not, that's okay. I'll split it. I just won't give it to him on camera. I promise I'll get it to him though, David. Thank you very much. Appreciate that. Super, super kind. What is the most common, Peter? Water shoot asks, what is the most common piece of advice you give your new employees when they start working for you? Genki, thank you very much. He just gave the other 50, so Daniel's going to be flipping out. So let me go back to that question. The most common answer I give, or advice I give to new employees, I would say if you're starting on a construction crew, you'll find out really quickly who's kind of the leader of the crew. Try to get close to them because they know what they're doing generally, and you're going to want to learn as a new construction worker everything that you can as fast as you can. Um, the guys that are, laborers or whatever, when you're a new employee, you tend to gravitate towards those guys because you're more on their level than you are on the leader's level. But if you're smart, you're going to try to hang out with the leader as much as you can because you are going to, especially if you're a fast learner, you can, hang out with this guy, start learning really quickly, and you'll pass up all these other guys and you can kind of move up the ladder very quickly. That would be my advice, is to hang out with the guys that know what they're doing instead of hanging out with the guys that are, the laborers or whatever, the guys that are lower level. Try to get that knowledge as quickly as possible. If you're ever, thank you, Quantum Shroom. If you're ever in Arizona, please hit me. I run a tower crane on huge. That sounds pretty cool. Runs a tower crane on huge concrete pours. That would be fun. Paul, thank you very much. Hope you're having a good day. I am Thomas. I'm having a good day. As I said earlier, I sold one big job, went on a couple other estimates. I have editing to do, but I'm trying to avoid that tonight. In about 2 weeks, autumn will be back, and that is going to take a huge burden off of me as far as my time goes. Somebody asks, how tall are you? I'm just shy of 6'4". Sakura says, and don't hide it if you don't know something. So he's adding to the advice for new guys, obviously. Admit that you don't know stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, put your pride to the side. If you don't know something, just ask. Even if you think it's a dumb question, just ask. That's how you learn. You're going to learn a lot faster if you ask questions. Hey, Ryan, do you think a fence building company is a good business to get into? Dark Matter asked that. Yes, I do. There are several very successful fence builders in our area and across the entire country, obviously. I believe it is a profitable business. Roxon says hello from Croatia. Thank you very much. Montana. I want to see Montana one day. I have a friend. Where is he from? I can't remember the town. But I do have a friend out there, so I might visit there someday. Ryan, are you a Suns fan now that the Bucks are gone? Frank, no, I'm not. I really don't pay attention to sports too much anymore. I just don't have the time. Obviously, I know what happened with the Bucks. They got blown out, and they were the number one seed. Sad, but very true. Garoppolo says, "Are you a Christian?" Yes, I am a Christian. Updates on the land? No updates. Just saving money. And right now, I think I just saw Easy E. Yep, Easy E's in the house. Eric's here. Eric's here. He's out here putting grease on my equipment. Good for you, Eric. So if you rent my Bobcat again, Eric, please put grease on my equipment, not just your equipment. I would really appreciate that. Yeah, Grub Mud. I know you're a basketball fan. Indiana guy. Jimmy Butler went off. Yeah, basically that guy beat the whole team. That's what everybody was saying around here. Lots of disappointment. How do I donate some music to you? I don't know. That's a good question. I'm not exactly sure. Never had anybody ask me that before. Does the merchandise fit true to size? So that's another reason why I went with my own website, going to sell my own merchandise because I was able to get a higher quality hoodie, higher quality shirt. The company that I use to do all the printing, he's local. He's literally 5 minutes from me, right in Menominee Falls, right down the street from where I purchased a new land. He does super nice work. On the t-shirts, the other website was selling like the screen print. It was so thin you could almost see through it. So I'm going to be able to keep the quality up too. As far as the sizing goes, I would say it fits true, maybe just a touch under true. So when you order, I'm talking about it, you're not going to be able to order for a little while, but when you do order, it was just somebody's question. It is going to be, I would order like a half size bigger. So if you're on the fence, order the size up. How old are the videos from the time you film, edit until you release them? Right now, they are 5 or 6 days right now. So I like to increase that a little bit as the summer goes by, just so I can get some breathing room. Like for instance, when I go on vacation, I want to have like a bunch of videos, set so when I'm on vacation, I can truly take a vacation. The videos are just going to keep coming on and I can relax. So I like to have a little bit of a backlog, which I don't really in the winter because I don't have much content. But in the summertime, there's plenty of content every day. Next video, Jay Fraz ass is coming up 7 o'clock tomorrow, 7 a.m. So right now the schedule is Sunday 7 a.m. and then Wednesday and then Friday. So that's what I'm doing. That's what I'm gonna stick with for right now. Ryan, please take Eric with you on estimate so he can learn how to sell and get comfortable talking to customers. It'll really help him in the future. Um, Probably just, I mean, I have done videos where I talk to customers. It's you know, experience plays a lot into that. Being able to read different people's personalities, being able to talk about subjects that are interesting to them. I mean, conversation with anybody, it comes from experience. I'm a little older, so I've been around a lot of a lot, to talk to a lot of people, so that comes from experience. Zeke says, "Let's get jiggy with it." It's hilarious. I mean, I know the reference, um, and Tino's been saying that he just pulled that right out of the blue one day. I was like, okay. How big was your business in the past? We had like 18 employees. We had 4 crews. Our excavation setup, pour, and then a small job crew. Had 2 full-time salesmen, 2 full-time office staff, and then there was me and my brother worked together back then. I want to see Daniel get the 100. All right. Well, let me text my wife. They're upstairs. Let me see if I can get them down here. Calling my wife. Mr. Bobby, I think he called me today. I saw a missed call. I think he's just kind of hanging in there. I mean, he's not doing great, but he's okay. Hi, can you send Daniel downstairs? Thank you. Bye. Gustavo Espinoza says, "What happened to Daryl?" So I've been over this a million times, and I guess at this point, I'm not gonna even mention anymore. People are really sick of hearing that. It's been like a few months already. It's really old news. Come on down here, Daniel. So come on the live. You guys weren't watching the live, were you? Well, tell me the truth.
Yep.
You were?
Yep.
Do you know why you're here then?
No.
Oh, you didn't see that part. So you see these people on the side of the screen?
Yes.
These are all people that are talking to us right now. Missile Marine, thank you very much. I appreciate that. He said he's never sent anybody money on YouTube before. Well, I appreciate me being the first one. Thank you, thank you. See these people? They sent me some money. My contribution to the new land. Thank you, Nick. So they like that you work really hard in the winter and shovel all the snow. And then there was one person that gave $50 to give to you. And then there was another person that gave $50 to give to you as well. So this is for you. You know how much this is?
Yep.
How much?
100.
You have to look in the camera and say, hold it up. And you know what to say.
Thank you.
Yep, not only that. And what else? You say, easy money. All right, you can go back up by mom. Thank you very much. It's really, really generous of you all. That is very cool. Somebody, Shaka says, Ryobi tools are trash. Ryobi is not on the level of some of the other manufacturers. You are correct. I would agree with that. They're not on the level of like Bosch or Makita or Milwaukee, of course. Thank you, Death Row 26. Ronan, how much garbage do you make? That's for you. Have you ever thought about letting bugs run the crew? Like I said before, no. I enjoy being on the crew. I want to lead the crew. I want to be on in on every part of the job. Say hi to your daughter for me. I will do that, Jimmy, but you have to specify because I have 5 daughters, and I don't know what I suppose you probably mean Autumn. Helicopter, Nate. I am scared of helicopters, to be totally honest. I don't know. I've just seen too many accidents on videos and all that, and I just don't want to get on a helicopter like ever. Marcel, Brendan, you're bringing back a blast from the past. Marcel, he went to another job like last October, September, October. I think it was October. So it's been a long time since Marcel's been around. Where was that? Somebody said gave $20 for the land, and he said curious to know how much it cost, how many millions. Bop, it was not millions of dollars. If it was millions of dollars, it would have not even been like a speck on my radar. Or that would be impossible. It was expensive to me and most people, but it wasn't in the millions of dollars. I mean, it will be once all the buildings are done, of course. But at this point, no, it was very expensive, but not that expensive. Has a customer ever stopped you mid-job to go in a different direction, and what did you do? Hawkeye, I think I mentioned the story at some point, but yes, we did have a customer once. This might have been in the last live. I can't remember, but we were going to do a driveway, big driveway, horseshoe driveway, and a garage floor. We did his garage floor. We troweled it, and he loved the smooth trowel. He wanted his whole driveway troweled. He demanded we trowel his whole driveway smooth, no broom finish. We told him we couldn't do that. We went back and forth, and we could not come to an agreement. So we pulled up the forms from the driveway and we left. And I don't know whatever happened to that job, but we just got out of there because you can't, as a contractor, do something that can be dangerous because that would be slippery in the winter. He could get hurt and then he would blame us. We would be liable for damages. Somebody's like really, Paul, they really want to know how much the land costs. It's somewhere between 500,000 and $1 million. I'll just leave it at that. I mean, it's not going to be a secret to be public record after I purchase it that you'll be able to see how much it costs, but it's between 500 and 1 million. Would you ever go to a race in Cletus McFarland's to race the Crown Vics? I'm never going to get invited, Noah. I'm like a really small fish compared to those guys. Those guys are like big YouTubers, very, very famous. And I know I have a following. I understand that. And it's substantial. I'm not saying that, but I'm not like those guys. Like Cletus McFarland, he's huge. You can see just from the things he's been able to do and things he's been able to purchase. I doubt I would ever get invited to that, but I probably would be scared. I don't have any racing experience. I'd have to get one of those guys to show me what's going on. Can you say hi to my husband, Saeed? I don't know if I said that right. And my son, Bowden. Well, hi to you all. I hope I said that right. Or is it Slade? I don't know, but hi to you. I think it's Slade. That's how it's spelled. There's no I there. How much for the boat? Towing his life. I'm not positive that I'm selling the boat. I'm definitely selling the Mustang, but I went over my finances. I go over my finances like every 3 days because this land closing is coming up. And the last time I went over it, things were looking pretty good. That if I just sell the Mustang for 16 ish right in there, that we're going to make it. So things are looking good. I'm not borrowing any money from anybody. So I think things are going to go fine as long as I sell the car. And even if I don't sell the car, I'm going to sell something. But I don't think it's going to be necessary to sell the car and the boat, just the car. Which I don't really want to sell the boat. I love that boat. Tyler, is your daughter Hannah? I don't really talk about like the status of my daughters publicly, you guys. I hope you understand that. It's great. Thank you very much. Hey Ryan, have you got plans to work on your own driveway soon? Peter, pay attention in about a week. You'll see some work being done on my own driveway. Scotty, thank you very much for the B52 money. That's very awesome. Some Dennis said he woke up for midnight stack and watched some YouTube watching from Kenya. Man, that's pretty cool. Thank you. Scarfo says enjoy a cup of coffee at Quick Trip. Most definitely. Kevin, $5 or for the $5 for land, $5 for truck damage from Eric. We'll get that fixed up, you guys. Hi from Grafton, put a Quick Trip on your new land. I don't think that would be my decision, but that would be an awful spot. It's right on a dead end in an industrial area. I wouldn't be interested in that anyway. But Matthew Carter says industrial land in southwest England is 300,000 pounds an acre. That is, I don't know what that translates to, but that's more than what I paid here for sure. Thank you, Tim. Appreciate that. Thank you, Robert Moya. Appreciate that. A lot of good comments. Yeah, Eric did feel bad. Find it, fix it, repeat. Eric did feel bad. I mean, he was honestly remorseful when he did that. I mentioned this earlier in the same stream, but when we went to lunch, well, he showed me while we were at 52's when we went inside, he didn't want to eat. He was feeling sick, and I convinced him. I bought him lunch and convinced him to eat. I don't want him to feel like horrible about it. How many pounds lost on the new diet? Cody, things are still going very well. I have lost 23 pounds and I have not cheated at all. And it's going to be 3 weeks on Tuesday. Jimmy's asked if I feel any better. I feel way better. I'm going to be honest. The 23 pounds, overall, it's not a ton of weight, but just completely changing the diet, cutting all sugar out, any kind of snacks, very, very few carbohydrates. I feel like I have a lot more energy. My clothes are starting to fit again. I can notice that. And honestly, it feels great. My mom is on the diet with me. So we're encouraging each other. She's on the same diet, very low carbs, and she's doing awesome too. She's losing right along with me. Hunter, thank you very much. 1 pound is $1.26 US dollars. That's interesting, Brian. So that land over there is much more expensive than over here. Curl says, this is Ryan's channel, not his daughter. Stop asking questions about his girls, you creep. Thank you, Curl. You said it and I didn't have to. So there you go. When you order concrete, what does all of that mean? Ryan O'Mahony asks, when is your next video going to be? Tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock Central Time. So when I order the concrete, it's low chert. So the chert refers to the aggregate or the stone in the concrete. And you don't want chert stone, because what can happen is the stones themselves, they absorb water and they'll freeze in the wintertime up here in the north, and they'll actually fracture themselves in half as the water expands, and you're left with small holes in the concrete called chert pops. And if you look at them, you'll see in every little crater of the other half of that stone, and that's a telltale sign that they are chert pops. Unfortunately, with chert, it is a naturally, they mine it out of quarries, and occasionally there's veins that contain more chert stone, even when they're mining low chert stone. So invariably, you'll have some chert in the mix, some pours will have more than others. So you can't avoid it. You have chert-free concrete, but you get low chert concrete. So that's what that means. Air entrainment is a chemical they add to the concrete. It creates little microscopic air bubbles. So when water saturates the concrete, it freezes and expands. It expands in those tiny little air pockets instead of putting the pressure of the expansion on the concrete and destroying the concrete. So it's very important to have air entrainment in concrete in freezing climates. The 6 bags, you'll hear me say 6 bag or 6.5 bag, 7 bag. That refers to how much cement I want in the concrete mix. 6 bags, some guys down south they call it 6 sacks. But 6 bag mix, that's how much cement they put in the mix. So 6 bag, low chert, air, and then fiber I generally will put in the concrete as well. It's a fiberglass, it's not fiberglass, it's polypropylene. Um, but it's called fiber mesh. So they're little strands. You can kind of think of it as little cut up pieces of fishing line all mixed through the concrete, and that helps with shrinkage cracking. I don't want to get too technical into the weeds here, but I'll just leave it at that. It's a type of reinforcement. And then sometimes I'll say NCA, like a quarter or half or 1% NCA. NCA is an accelerant that I put in the concrete. So if the weather's cold, they'll I'll put this in to help the concrete set up a little bit faster so we're not sitting around waiting for it to set up. So that's the story on all that stuff. Are you done with your second channel? No, Brendan, I am not done with the second channel. So the second channel will be utilized here and there. Obviously, through the winter, I don't have any content for it. All the content that I can scrape together, I put on my main channel. But in the summer, there will be content on the second channel. The second channel is it's done amazingly well, but I'm not going to abandon it. Absolutely not. Vlad asked, where do I see myself in 10 years? I see myself still pouring concrete. I'm going to be 46 May 20th. So 10 years from now, obviously, I'll be 56 years old. Hopefully, I'm still in good shape. I can still pour concrete. Hopefully, if my dreams come true, the land and buildings will be completed at that time. So I'm hoping to make a good enough income from that where I don't have to do as much concrete work as I currently do. So that's kind of, that's where I see myself in 10 years. Tell me the truth. When are the new hoodies dropping? As soon as I can. As soon as I can. Let me get rid of that one there. I got rid of that person. How can you make Jade a uniform? I'm sure there's websites where you can buy custom, animal t-shirts. I'm sure there's plenty of those. I would just have to look. Do you ever plan on focusing more on the channel than the actual business? Well, Jared, the channel is about my business. So that's not really even an option. Matthew said, have you considered using the membership function of the YouTube to raise money for your building land project? Matthew, I really have not. If you know me, know like how I've handled the channel. I've never really asked for anything from my subscribers, and it just feels really weird to offer. If you've been around other YouTube channels, there'll be a little tab, a button that you can click to become a member, and you pay so much per month, and then you get whatever, maybe better access or a private live stream with the creator. And it's always kind of felt weird to me. So, I could turn it on, but I just don't feel right about it. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes sense. I just don't ever want to come across like I'm taking advantage of the people. I just appreciate that you all watch the videos, follow along. Hit the like and subscribe button if you want to help. That would be, that would be great. That's really all I can ask of you. I don't think I'm going to do the members or the membership button. It just doesn't it doesn't feel good to me. So I'm going to skip that. Liking the New Holland skid steer, sticks and picks. So the New Holland skid steer has like just a few hours on it. I really don't have a great feel for it, but I can tell just from operating it around the shop and stuff. I'm going to like it. It's a good machine, but I am going to try to keep it nice. So when I do finally buy the land, there's a whole bunch of cleanup. You guys saw the video. There's junk all over. There's some grading and cleaning up. I'll probably put a skid steer over there, that one, so I can just clean and whenever I get extra time, go over there and work on the land. So I'll start using it this year either way. Hey Ryan, have you ever done a dry pour or heard of it? What's your opinion on that method? Mario, I appreciate the question. So if you don't know what a dry pour is, there was a there's been a couple or few videos that went viral. They're not contractors; they're just like do-it-yourselfers, but they'll do a dry pour. So they'll take bagged concrete mix, dry bagged concrete mix, and they'll form up a little pad or whatever outside of a door. They'll just dump the mix in dry, and then they'll sprinkle the top of it with water and finish it. Mike Day, interestingly enough, just did a video testing it. He did the same exact thing, and he dry poured it. He put as much water as you're supposed to, and then he waited a period of time. I don't remember how long, and then he broke it up. And his conclusion was, "Do not try it. It's junk. It broke up very easily." And it didn't actually harden in the middle. It was still like a dry mix, even though he added the appropriate amount of water. So do not do not dry mix and then dry pour any concrete. Just mix it. That's what the instructions say on the bag. You can dry pour post hole footings. That's perfectly fine, but don't try to pour a slab with dry mix. Just mix it up. Uh, Vilius, thank you very much. He gave a donation to the land. What has all been done to the Mustang? So it's had head work. Um, it has an exhaust. It has the Pro Charger. It has a short throw shifter. I think that's what it's called. Yeah. What else does it have? I can't remember all. Oh, it has upgraded brakes and tire brakes and tires are from the Cobra Mustang. So it has a bunch of stuff done to it. I'll buy your New Holland for $110,000. Sold, Kevin. Just email me. You can have it tomorrow because I didn't pay anywhere near that. I think I paid like 80. I don't. Maybe I shouldn't say. I think it was in the 80. It was in the 80s, so it wasn't terrible. I did not fix the scratch on the truck yet. Eric is losing weight. I don't think so. I'm losing weight. Eric, I don't think is trying to lose weight just quite yet. Would you ever go live on the job site? Nate, I've tried that and it's tough because um, it's really loud on the job site. You have saws running and compactor, you have the Bobcat running all the time, concrete mixer truck. It's so loud and I'm busy, so I can't really read the comments and I really kind of need to get to work. As you can see, we're slightly shorthanded right now, so I'm jumping around. I don't have a lot of time. So even on the videos you've seen, it's mostly like my head cam and time lapse because I don't have time to like go around and get the shots of the guys troweling or finishing or edging. I just, I'm busy. So, that's just the way it's going to be for the next, 2 weeks until autumn gets there. So going live on the job doesn't work out that much. Cliff says, "Will you say hi? Hello, please. Hello, Cliff. You got the Husqvarna icon there. So hello to you. For what accomplishment would you shave off your beard?" I don't know, Chris. I'd have to really think about that. But Eric had a good idea. He said the day that I close on the land, everybody should get off work and we should go do a giant burnout on the concrete driveway at the new land. So kind of planning on that. I want to do something fun. I don't know what the neighbors are going to think, but we're going to do it anyway. I can do a burnout on my own property. Nobody can say anything. Have a raffle for the Mustang. Somebody else suggested that too, but I really don't know. I really don't know how that would all work out. And honestly, I don't feel like I'm a big enough YouTuber uh, to make that work. My fear would be that I would raffle it off and I would get like 100 people to give the $200 or $20, and I would give the Mustang away for next to nothing. So I think I'm just going to sell it. It's much safer that way. Hey Ryan, listen, I had a couple questions. A house upstate and my driveway is dipping down. Do you have any good ideas? If your driveway is settled, you just have two options. You have mud jacking. So they'll drill holes in the current concrete and then they'll pump mortar underneath and lift, they'll lift the slabs. That's option number one. It's kind of considered temporary, or you can have it removed and replaced. Those are your two options: mud jacking or removal and replacement. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Ethan Goodall, Send $5. Thank you very much. Somebody says you need to buy your guys tools. Six exclamation points. That was kind of like a little hot button thing when I asked Tito to get his tools. So I don't think you all understood what I meant by that. I'm not going to go in the comments and start defending all. It's just not worth it. So here's the deal. I have plenty of tools on the truck, but when you have a guy that comes completely unprepared, he does. I want my guys to have a bucket of their own tools, and some of my tools will be mixed in their bucket. Every Bugs has a whole bunch of my tools mixed in his bucket, but he has a few of his own things that he likes, like his pouch and his own hammer. He likes to have his own tape measure. The idea is that every guy should be prepared to work. You should at least have your own bucket of tools, even if some of them are mine, so you are ready to work. Because what happens is guys show up with nothing, they don't have no bucket, and when it's time to do anything, they're running over to the toolbox on that side of the truck. They're looking in the cab over here. They're looking here because they need a hammer. They're going over here because they need this or that. If you have everything ready, you have a pouch and your hammer, you got everything in a bucket, you're ready to work, and it shows that you're serious and you can work efficiently. When you're just running around with empty hands all the time, like looking for this over there and this over here, I expect my guys to have their tools organized and to be professional. It had nothing to do with I should buy Tino tools. My guys already have a bunch of my tools. You can ask Eric or Bugs. A lot of the tools in their buckets are my tools that I bought. I don't have a problem with that. That wasn't really the point. So I hope that kind of clears that up. Gary said, "Can I get a shout out?" Gary Doherty, there's your shout out. Thank you very much. So somebody has a question. Where'd it go? I lost it. Oh man. Okay, there it is. It's way up on the top already. Said Mario said, I recently had a driveway addition. I acid stained it myself 30 days later and sealed it a week later. I am now getting white spots. Unfortunately, there's what you probably did, Mario, is you didn't neutralize the acid. So when you acid stain concrete, there's obviously a chemical reaction that takes place. That's what causes the color. And that chemical reaction, obviously, when it dries, it stops. But when you put a sealer on top, though it may look good at first, water will eventually penetrate your sealer. And if you don't neutralize the acid, what happens is when that water eventually sits on it long enough and penetrates, it'll get to that surface again and it'll reactivate the acid. So it'll start reacting underneath your sealer and it'll cause white spots. So that's one possibility. The other possibility is you had moisture still in the concrete and that moisture is trying to come to the surface and evaporate, but it's kind of hitting that sealer barrier. And what happens is it turns white, it makes white spots. So, two possibilities there. It's one or the other more than likely. How many quotes do you do each year? I don't even keep track. I kind of do quotes as needed. I just watch kind of the schedule and how far out we are, and I take estimates as needed. I get more leads than I can handle, so I kind of pick and choose the ones that I want to take. I don't do any real small jobs. I pass those along. Nick S. Yes, sir. How much do you bench, uh, Roy? So I used to bench like 350, 355. That was it. I was never like a monster on the bench press. I was never super strong. I was probably above average strength for sure, but I was never like, giant in the gym. There was guys, friend that I worked out with, he would bench 450, 450 he could bench. So then I would get on the bench doing like 100 pounds less. I would feel like a weakling, although 350 pounds is very respectable bench press. Mortal Martin, yeah, 355 is it's respectable for sure. But I was in the gym with bigger, stronger guys, so it makes you feel kind of weak. So, Junior, thank you very much. Backup camera for hooking up the trailers. It's a great idea. Backup camera when I get a chance. That's a good winter project. Next winter, I think I'm probably going to do that. That would really help a lot. We've been struggling back in the truck into the trailers. Thank you, Herb Brooks. 6. Hopefully, you can get the land. Oh, I'm going to get the land. I promise you, I will buy the land one way or another. I'm not, letting that opportunity pass by. Whatever needs to be done, I'm going to do it. I'll give your honest opinion on Big Ray. My honest opinion is I really like him. He's doing a really good job. He's learning. Oh, I can't wait till you guys see the video that on the job we did on Thursday, I think it was. I haven't laughed that hard since Daryl's teeth flew out. And I'm not kidding. My stomach was ready to bust. So you guys will have to wait and see. You'll hear me laughing my guts out. Ray did something so funny. I could not stop laughing. But he's eager to learn. He's picking stuff up. He's at work early every single day. He asks me what needs to be done. I tell him and he does it. So it's all I can ask for at this point. Elijah, thank you very much. I am more pumped up than you, I promise. How would you go about cementing when you know there's an artesian well? So I think what you mean is there's like an underground spring, so there's a lot of water underneath the concrete. That's a tough one. I remember one time I was working for a boss. This was back when I did masonry, and the excavator dug out the foundation, and it was a house that was being built right on a lake. And the excavator dug down, and the hole started to fill with water. So the whole project had to be stopped. It was, coming from the lake or whatever. There was just water coming up and filling. I don't remember what it was, a foot or so of water on the bottom of the hole, and it wasn't rainwater; it was groundwater. And they had to have an engineer come out, and basically all we did before we did the footings is he made us put stone in there, like big clear stone. So we put a bunch of clear stone in there, got it above the level, poured the footings, and built the house right on that. And that was acceptable from an engineer. So I think it's okay if you have a spring underneath. It's just, how much is it? How bad is it? If you're digging and there's water coming up, you're going to get yourself into trouble if you pour concrete on it. But if it's not really that bad, or if it's just a little soggy, you might be able to get away with it if you put a lot of stone underneath. All right. Back to the questions. Whoops. That was a mistake. All right. Just froze up for a minute there. I'm sorry. How's your current diet? It's going good. I was 23 pounds already. Haven't cheated and I'm doing really good on it. And it's not super hard either. It's easier to be on a diet when you're really busy. It's much more difficult when you have spare time because you're walking to the fridge more. You might go out to eat more. You're just thinking about food more. But when you got other things on your mind, you're not really thinking about food much. And believe me, I have a lot of things on my mind. So all of you guys in the comment section that are business owners, you know that you always 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year, you live with some level of anxiety. You always have stuff in the back of your mind that's going on, problems that need to be solved, issues with maybe customers or a job that didn't go right, financial issues, scheduling. Maybe you're thinking about the future, and there's so many things that are going on in your mind. There's always some level of anxiety, but you learn to live with it and you learn to relax even though you have that in the back of your mind. So it's not for everybody because some people just can't live like that. If you have a job, work for somebody else, you can go home, leave work behind. That anxiety, is going to be with the manager or bosses. You get to be completely free from responsibility, work responsibility, obviously, but you get to be free from that as an owner of a business. You never really are able to completely detach from your business. It's just not actually possible, at least for me. And I think that probably it goes for most business owners, I believe, would definitely agree with that. Clinton, thank you very much. Um, Watching videos got my friend back into flat work and he's loving it. Also, got me out of a truck after 10 years and I'm helping him. That's good, man. Sitting in a truck that's not for everybody. I don't think I could do it. $2. Did Cisco ever make it to the job? How is he doing? He's doing really good. Actually, yesterday he worked at my house late, and he thanked me for the opportunity. Me and Tino get along just fine. I think the way that the other video was, I didn't edit that video. My son did. I think people got the wrong impression that Tito was like I was going to get rid of. I have no. I just hired Tino. I have no intentions of like getting rid of Tino. I like him. He's a hard worker. He just has to kind of adjust to how we do things. That's all. Should I invest in a slab jack rig? I'm in East Tennessee. So I think you're talking about mud jacking. You guys just call it something a little bit different in Tennessee. I don't know, Josh. It just really depends on your situation. I have no idea. If you're ready for business, if you have work already, if you have work and you're ready, go for it, man. You can always sell your equipment. It shouldn't be too scary, buying equipment, investing, because you can always get rid of it. And usually with equipment, it holds its value pretty well. So it's not really that risky. I want to buy the Mustang. Ryan says he wants to buy the Mustang. Ryan, I don't know if you're one of the guys that are from a different state. I just don't. I mentioned this already, but I don't think it's a good idea for you to fly here and try to drive the car all the way across the country back home. It's set up as more of a fun, like in-town car. It's very, very loud. It's fast. It's not real comfortable. It's not really a cross-country vehicle. It's got a Pro Charger on it. So, I mean, I would recommend, if you want to buy it, re-email me with an offer to trailer it. I think that would be a better idea. I'm sorry, man. I don't know how to pronounce your name. Orestas. The diet I'm on is it's a low carb. It's, not eating sugar, very few carbs, mostly meat, some vegetables like broccoli I have every day, chicken, a lot of meat, steak. Vilius, thank you very much. Lunch for the guys. Appreciate that. Can you talk about your snow plowing jobs? I'm in New York and do it on the side. I could use some pointers looking to make my business legit. So, if you want to make your business legit, get an LLC, get a website, and start talking to places that you want to plow for. Come in professional. Say you want to talk to the property manager. Tell them that you snowplow. You give a reasonable rate, and that if they're never unhappy with their current person's service, to give you a call and just be patient, and it will happen. That's what I did, and that's how I got all the work, almost all the work that I. You get to pick and choose what you want as well. It does take time though, and then you can build from there, and then you can start marketing. But that's where you got to start out. When you retire, are you going to give it to your son, or are you just going to oversee things and no labor? Are you going to try to groom someone for? No, I don't know, Joshua. I just it's too many years down the road to even really know what direction things are going to go. I have no idea. So we'll see. The young mechanic. So you're talking about Nathan, Nate the Great, the mechanic. He's doing really well. He has the Mustang right now because the gas tank leaks, the connection coming from the filler hose. He's going to fix that. I think it needs a battery. He's going to have the Pro Charger rebuilt. It has a very slow oil leak, just one drip at a time, once in a while. But I don't want to sell it unless it's fixed perfectly. So I want to make sure that it's good to go for the next owner. I was sold the Mustang with those problems. I didn't know about the problems. If you saw when I bought it, all of a sudden the gas tank was leaking and the Pro Charger was leaking, and I was a little disappointed that that wasn't disclosed. And I'm not going to do that to somebody else. The cars, obviously, it could still break. There's stuff you just don't know about legitimately, but the stuff I know about, I'm going to fix. In an old video, you said a load binder got you into big trouble. You said you would tell the story later. Actually, I did tell the story. See, Peterson, you must have missed it. Um, Let me get back to that. Hello from Macedonia. Hope you have a great season. Thank you. Appreciate that. So the load binder was what caused Bug's shoulder injury. I can't remember if he was locking it down or unlocking it, but that's how he tore his rotator cuff, and that's how the load binder got us into trouble. Is it cost me my employee for, I don't even remember how many months. It was April, May, June, July. Like I think 4 months out of the season. I think it was August or end of July when he came back. So my best guy, it took him out for 4 months of the following season. So that cost me. But you guys saw we got through it. Things went fine. Thanks to you, I started a diet when you went into the winter break and lost 100 pounds. That is fantastic, man. Hightower's a big guy, lost 100 pounds. That's super good, man. Blood, Sweat, and Tears Concrete, Tucson, Arizona. Yes, sir. Forgot your name. Molden. Is it? It's Molden. John? Is it John Molden? I don't know, brother. I remember you sent me the T-shirt. I know you have a channel, a concrete channel as well. Go check that out. Blood, Sweat, and Tears. John Molden. So I was right. Thanks, Bobby. Appreciate that. Somebody says thank you, or a shout out from Virginia. Just a young buck loving the blue collar work. Yes, sir. Jose. College isn't for everybody. A lot of guys, they love blue collar work. Welders, a lot of welders, they love what they do, and roofers and tradesmen of all types. We just enjoy it. There's a lot of benefits to being a tradesman. It's not all like perfect. There's a lot of, difficulties, obviously, but it's very rewarding. To me, it's a lot more rewarding than sitting behind a computer and, just using your brain for your occupation. I love working outside. I love at the end of the job just kicking back. Like I will park my truck at the end of a driveway for like 5 minutes at the end of the day, and I'll just stare at it. Be like, man, we did that today. That's really cool. We did good work. It looks really good. The customer's happy. Gave me a check. Shook their hand. Like it's very satisfying. And I think most business owners and even employees enjoy the same thing. It's really cool to see what you accomplished in a day. Thank you, Joshua. I appreciate that. Yeah, I'm proud of him that he got his CDL for sure. He took initiative all on his own to do that. I didn't even mention it. He just wanted to get it, and he got it done. He got it done. I paid for it, but I have absolutely no problem as his dad paying for the lessons if he wants to take that initiative. A CDL is a great thing for a lot of people to have. Oh, just missed something. Marcus, thank you very much. I won't mention your comment, but my condolences. How much for the boat? Ted, right now the boat's not for sale. I'm hoping the boat will not need to be put up for sale. I think we're going to be okay just selling the car. Lily, hi Lily. Give a shout out to my little girl Lily from the UK. Sick note, the Reno man. Yes, sir. Armando, thank you very much. Come do some hunting in North Dakota. I would love to. It's tough to find time to go hunting in the fall, I'll tell you. It's tough to find time to do anything. I'm telling you what. Gonna listen while I'm on my yard. Thank you very much. Enrique, thank you. Did you read my email about your glasses? Vic, I did read an email about my glasses about progressives, and that was probably your email about how as you get older your eyes have a difficulty adjusting from far vision to something up close. It takes them a long time to adjust. And he recommended that I look for I don't know what they are, transitions, bifocals, but I will not get bifocals. I'm sorry, I'm only 46. I would rather just take my glasses off and read than get bifocals at this point in my life. I do not like getting old. I'm just like fighting it, but man, my beard's like all gray. My hair is sort of gray. It's messed up right now, but I'm getting gray hair. Yep, mid 40s, they hit you. I'll tell you what. My wrist is kind of messed up when I start working. I think I don't know. I could feel it clicking, and it's been in quite a bit of pain, but it's getting better. It's getting old. I'm getting old. Thank you very much, Fair. Appreciate that. Toughest project so far. Oh, there's been so many tough projects. It's tough to even choose one. Your son going to drive the dump truck at work sometimes? Yeah, absolutely. So he's been going to the yard regularly, jumping in the dump trucks, driving them around, and getting that experience. So once he comes in the end of May, he's going to be driving the truck, one of the trucks for me for sure. Sir, you need cold plunges in your life. Ah, no, I couldn't do that. I know, like the ice plunges, there's just no way I could do that. That would kill me, I think. Cruz said, I just turned 40. It's rough. Yeah, it is, man. That is life. What happened with the land you were looking to buy? I put an offer. Offers accepted. Closing is June 28th. Dustin, thank you very much. Shout out to TNT Waterproofing from Ontario, Canada. Jay Williams, did you get the piece of the Berlin Wall I sent last year? If it's actually you, yes, I did. I gave you a shout out, and actually, it's been one of my. Where did it go? Where did it go? It's right here. I actually showed it on my last live as well. That's it right there. It's a piece of the actual. Wow, there's a lot of glare there, but that's a actual chunk of concrete out of the Berlin Wall. This was one of my. This is a very special gift. It's a very, very cool part of history there. Thank you very much. Can we buy a merch anywhere? Not right now, but soon. At least you still have a full, thick head of hair. Yeah, I do. I don't complain too much about the grays because at least I still have all my hair. I have no balding at all. My dad has tons of hair. I know it doesn't come from your dad's side, but yeah, I don't have any problem with that, thankfully. Shout out Dad and Son Concrete from Texas. Thank you, Eduardo Vasquez. I'm balding at 28. Robert, man, it's genetics. It's just the way that it is. What's tougher, concrete or masonry? I was a brick tender for 2 years. So being a tender, I think, is just as hard as pouring concrete. I think the masons um, probably are right after. I don't know. It's hard to kind of put those in order, but brick tending is hard work, especially if you're tending for a large crew of masons, ornery old masons. Brendan Hedge says, coming to get your trailer. All right, Brendan. So here's the deal. I need 3,000 cash, not 2,500 cash, 3,000 cash, and you can come and get the trailer. So Brendan is a friend of mine from St. Clair Shores, Michigan. He let me stay at his house, and he likes the green trailer, wants the green trailer. And I was like, no, I want the green trailer, but I do have the tilt trailer, so I don't really need the green trailer. So if you want to buy it, it is for sale. 3,000 bucks. All right. There's a guy named Socket here just trying to cause trouble. So I'm going to hide the user from the channel. Sorry, Socket. Don't just come here to start trouble, instigate stuff. That's not right. Let's have a little respect over here. Socket's out now. Yes, he's gone. Thank you. I saw that a couple times and I was waiting to see him and I finally did. Video tomorrow. Yes, sir. 7 a.m. 7 a.m. Central Time. In the insurance business, we call tradesmen artisans. I like that term. What you do is an art. Well, it is true. You know, masons, man, everybody, carpenters. I don't know about roofers so much. I don't think so, but definitely carpenters and masons are definitely artisans. Yes, sir. Greetings from Orlando. I had a tuxedo cat that looked just like yours. Sadly, died in 2022. Sorry to hear that. Tips for a new contractor. Oh man, that could be a long discussion. Tyler, thank you very much. Forklift operator. So, as a new contractor, you obviously first thing you need is work. So, you know, need to get your name out there, do quality work, get your reputation as high as you possibly can, as fast as you possibly can. Get the word out. I mean, the very first thing you need as a contractor is you need people to know that you are available, that you do good work, that you can solve their problems. That's the first thing that you really need to work on. So there's multiple, avenues of marketing that you can use, which I've gone over. I think it's going to bore people if I talk about it again. But Facebook, the paid ads that's a great avenue, not super expensive. Is there such a thing as hidden control joints? JK asks. Sort of. So let me talk about that. He asked if there are such thing as hidden control joints. And I think what you mean by that, I think you're talking about zip strips. So what zip strips are is they're a thin piece of plastic that actually goes in the slab. You finish right over the top of the thin piece of plastic, and that piece of plastic acts as your control joint. So the concrete will crack wherever you set that zip strip. But in my opinion, if you use zip strips in anything that is going to be visible, it'd be okay like in a basement floor where it's going to get floor covering, or some other place where it's going to get floor coverings. But if you use zip strips in an area that's not getting floor coverings, if it's going to be a visible area, uh, that's just not right, because the control joint or the zip strip, when the concrete cracks, it looks no different than a crack. It's straighter than a crack, but it's still kind of wiggly and wobbly, and it looks just like a crack. I don't even know what the point is putting those in, unless you're trying to meet specifications. But I've seen that around here on very expensive homes in the garage floor, and the garage floor looks like it's cracked all over the place on a 750,000, $1 million house. It drives me crazy. Just cut control joints, just saw cut them, or cut them by hand, tool them in. Don't use zip strip if it's going to be visible. That's my advice. That's the way I feel about that. Hi to George and Joey. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Hi Ryan, I'm a steel fixer, rod buster from Australia. Man, it's cool. Like everybody around the world, even around the country, they have different terms for the same stuff. So if you don't know what a rod buster is, those are guys that work with rebar. Guys on bridges that are tying rebar together all day. They're building cages for structures, vertical buildings. They're tying rebar together all the time. It's a super tough, physically demanding job. And Corey is one of those over in Australia. Thank you very much. I'm a little jealous. Manny says, I'm a little jealous of Ryan Jr. that didn't pay 1 cent for the classes and license. That's like, oh, it was not 10 grand. So I don't know where you're calling around. I don't even know what country you're in, Manny, but it was like $1,300. So yeah, I paid for all those driving lessons and all that stuff, but it was like 12 or 1,300 bucks. It was not 10 grand. So you might want to call around and see if you can, find somebody else. What will you do with the land before the start of the winter? The only thing I'm planning on doing is, cleaning it up. That's about it. That's probably all I'm going to do, is get all the garbage off of it. So because you got to have plans, you got to have engineers, elevations. I can't just start moving dirt around. It could make no sense at all. I could be moving it to the wrong spot. So it's all got to be approved by the city, and it's all got to be done by engineers, civil engineers. So the grade and where water is going to flow to, retention ponds. So I leave that up to the experts. Once I get the plans, I know where the retention ponds are going to be, the elevations, then I can start working on it. But that's going to be a while. It won't be till next year for sure. Good question, because Martin M., I did actually consider at one time becoming a police officer when I was younger. In Milwaukee, we had a chief at the time, and he was not a very good chief. The Milwaukee Police Department was struggling. They were over budget. They stopped hiring police officers. And that was about the time I was thinking about it. And I realized that it was a dumb avenue to take at that point in my life, because I wasn't going to be able to get hired in Milwaukee. That's where I lived at the time, in the city of Milwaukee. So it really wasn't a real possibility. So I gave that up, but I did think about it seriously. Taylor said, everyone knows you bought the green trailer back to start mowing again and making that real easy money. Yeah, right. Residential mowing is not easy money. That is hard. It's fast paced. Um, and it's difficult, because residential mowing, you're going to have a lot of competition. You're going to be bidding against guys that can do it for very cheap, young guys that are just getting into it. Maybe they're using push mowers. So you really have to hustle to make it, to be really successful doing residential. You can. I mean, it's definitely possible. There's guys out there with really big businesses, and they only do residential. But you need to be really efficient and good at it. Would you ever relocate to New York City or San Francisco? No, Richard. Good question, but absolutely not. Neither one of those cities are. No, definitely not. You skipped my first donation straight to the heart. I'm trying to do my best. I appreciate that. What's up now? But they scroll through pretty fast, and sometimes I miss some. Concrete or asphalt? What to use. So asphalt, you're going to save money on the initial installation. Concrete obviously is going to be more expensive. There's more material, more labor cost. Uh, the advantage asphalt has is if you live in the northern climate where you get snow, it's going to melt the snow off a lot quicker. But concrete is going to last much longer than asphalt. It doesn't get soft like asphalt gets. You don't have to seal it like you seal asphalt. And then if you have light colored flooring, you will drag your asphalt into the house. So if you have like white floors, you'll notice they'll start to get yellow. You won't have that with concrete. So, there's, in my opinion, obviously I'm biased. I love concrete. Concrete is definitely a way to go. It's more of an investment long term. Thank you, Fearless Father. I appreciate that. Eric needs the belt. Well, Aaron, I don't want to talk about it, put on camera, but Eric did get the belt. He did get the belt. You know, no, I'm just kidding. What do you do? Heated concrete. I think you mean Henry hydronic heating underneath concrete, and I have done that several times. None of them on video. All before I started doing video. It's not real common here, although once in a great while we'll get into it. I did not sell the Mustang yet, Robert, but I am intending to. It's got to get fixed first. Nate the Great has it. He's going to whip it up for me, and then I'm going to get rid of it. Thomas asks if I want to grow my company. No, Thomas is at a size where I feel very comfortable. Easy money store at the house anytime soon. Killer Hobbs, pretty soon. Lisa, I'm supposed to ask. Okay, so Bill Glass, I'm supposed to ask you for Lisa. Will you marry her? Um, I don't know if that's serious or not. If it is serious, um, I don't know how I feel about that, but anyways, good luck, Lisa. Hopefully, Bill says yes. Let's host a golf tournament. Man, I'd be in on that. I don't really have time to organize something like that, but that would be super fun. I would be all in on that. I used to play a lot of golf. I played golf all through high school. On the team, I was number one varsity as a freshman. I was a 5 handicap, believe it or not, back when I was just 16 years old or whatever. And then I played at a local club here on the men's league for like a couple of years after high school. And then I just got too busy with concrete and I had to give that all up. I would probably shoot like 100 right now. How far would you travel to do a pour? Hunter, it depends. I mean, there's certain situations where it could be like the opportunity of a lifetime where I would travel halfway across the country. But generally speaking, I don't go very far from home at all. I live in an area with, it's a pretty condensed population. It's also a relatively wealthy area. So there's a lot of work here, very close to where I live, very close to the yard. So you really don't have to travel very far because the work is right here, right in your lap. Concrete's ordered. Daniel asked for that. He paid $4.99 for me to say concrete's ordered. That's cool. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm Bill Glass. Can you tell Lisa that I will for 2,500 cash? Very funny. 2,500 cash, Lisa, and Bill is all yours. Okay, just kidding, obviously. That was definitely not Bill Glass. Thank you, Andrew Cocomello. Just a compliment there. Thank you very much. Not a question at all. Do you think Eric's business is growing faster than he can handle for a new owner? No, he's doing fine. He's doing fine. He's not going to get in any trouble. He's not. Guys get into trouble when they go into business when they feel like they need like really nice equipment, really nice trucks, or they're not going to be able to make it. He's doing it right. You buy old trucks that you can actually afford and you get started and then eventually you improve. People see me with the nice trucks and the newer equipment and stuff. I've been in business for 24 years. That does not happen overnight. It takes many, many years. And, if you buy older stuff, you can get the work done just as well. You're going to have more breakdowns. You're going to have more headaches, obviously. But no, he's not growing too fast. He's doing it right. He's buying stuff that he can afford and he's easing into it. He's not getting in over his head. And I think that's where most people get into trouble. All of a sudden you got, you have this $1,500 a month Bobcat pay or skid loader payment, and you have a dump truck payment. You got to have a brand new truck as a contractor, or people won't take you seriously. That's what some people say. So you have all these payments, and all of a sudden work gets thin, and then you're like biting your fingernails, all nervous. Like that is not the way to do it. That's just my opinion. Other people disagree and say, "Ooh, you got to use the bank's money, and that's how business is done." Well, that's not how I did it. And if you're just getting into a small contracting business, that's not how I recommend doing it either. Manuel asks, "How old am I?" I'm 45. I'll be 46 May 20th next month. What are your thoughts on becoming a firefighter and working a trade on the side? Martin, I think that is a great opportunity if you can do that. I'm not really friends with any firefighters, but I've known, several of them, talked to several through the years, did work for them. And it seems like, man, because they work, I don't know if it's 6 days on, 6 days off, or four. I don't know how they work, but they have a certain amount of days that they work and then they're off. And then a lot of those firefighters will do side jobs and, trade type work the other days that they're off. So they get their, income from their job, and then they get to do work on the side. And it seems like, man, it seems really like a good opportunity if you can do it. Absolutely. And I know firefighters get really good benefits. I think the pay is good. 15 cash, all hundreds for the Mustangs. You should get MacGyver and Dan to pour some concrete. That'd be a fun video. Yeah, that would be a fun video. Dan would probably do it. I don't know if MacGyver would. He might. But I think those guys would surprise you. I think they know more about concrete than you think. So I know MacGyver poured some concrete at his house at Driveway last year. He told me the story. He said it did not go well. I've never seen it, but he was telling me like they had a lot of trouble with it. It set up really fast, which, that's what concrete does when it's hot out. It sets up really fast. And if you're not ready for it, you can lose it. Concrete is it's very time sensitive. It's about minutes. Once that concrete comes off the truck, it's about minutes. Will there be any meetups soon? We will do at least one or two this summer for sure. Will there be Best Mom Monday this season? Absolutely. My mom's looking forward to it. I think she starts this next week. It's either this week or next week. I can't remember, but she's already ready to go. I'm ready to go. The guys have been asking, so definitely. Will you ever do a trip to the UK with the crew? Sorry, Charlie, probably not. That would be a lot of organization. Have you reported any apartment slabs? Yes, I have, Patrick. I poured some apartment slabs, but it was when I was young. It wasn't my company. I was working for a contractor, and we did do some big pours, but not for myself. I don't really get into commercial work much at all, working for myself. Definitely going to pull up to the meetup. We definitely will. I promise you guys we'll have a meetup locally here, a couple this summer. Just got to figure it out. I think that those guys in Eagle, the police department that invited us out last year, will probably invite us out again. It seemed to do really well. That was like, honestly, that was completely overwhelming, the amount of people that showed up to meet us and the distance that a lot of people drove to see us. That was really cool. So it worked out awesome for us, and it brought a lot more people to the event. So it was really a win-win, and I expect that they're probably going to invite us again. Michael asked about dry pouring concrete again. I did explain that earlier, Michael. Stay away from dry pouring concrete. Just mix it up first and do it the way that the manufacturer recommends. Kigo the Lunatic. Want to come to South Dakota for some pheasant hunting? Man, that would be super fun. Super fun. I haven't swung, I don't know if I can say it. I haven't swung that tool in many years, but I used to a lot. I used to duck hunt. Me and my brother used to duck hunt a lot. So I think I could get back on it. Patrick, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate that. Updates on Francisco. Thank you for asking that, Mike. I didn't even think of that yet. So Francisco is still injured. He's been going to therapy, and he expects to get released in about 2 weeks from the doctor. Hopefully the doctor will release him. And sorry, I'm reading another comment, but he should be back in a couple weeks. If he doesn't get released, we'll just have to wait and see what the doctor says. But I'm hoping 2 weeks. He's thinking 2 weeks. He said he's feeling pretty good. Thank you very much. TNT Concrete, what's going on? Big D, I'm sorry, I gotta remove you from the channel for that comment. Please don't instigate in the comment section or tell stupid lies. He said somebody's in the hospital and they had a heart attack. Somebody you all know it's a lie. Don't believe it. I always wonder, like, how do people get in? Like, people get enjoyment. Something about it thrills them if they lie or instigate in the con. Is that really fun? Like, that's so weird, so strange. I'll never understand or figure that out. What's Bug's real name? His name is Carl with a C. The internet is a wild place. Yeah, it really is because people, they hide behind their screen or whatever, and they feel like they can say things that they would never say to you face to face. It's interesting how a face to face discussion is so different than anything you would see in the comment section, or even so different than text messages, emails. People are much more bold in writing a text message or an email or a comment than when you're face to face. That's why I recommend if there's ever like a disagreement between you and somebody, I don't recommend a long text message conversation. I recommend that you go see them and talk to them face to face. Once you're able to see their emotion, they're able to kind of read your face. It almost always works out better if you're able to see each other face to face. Unless you're meeting to kill each other, fight or whatever, then stay away from each other. But if it's just a disagreement, just talk to each other face to face and work it out. It's not that hard. Marcel, I really haven't kept up with him. I think he's working. I guess that's what I heard from one of my other friends. He's working in concrete still. I share a driveway with my neighbor, and his garage floor pools with water when it rains, and now wants us to split price on a new driveway. Hunter, I don't know you didn't really give me enough details. I would say if your driveway's old, busted up, and it's in really bad shape, maybe you were considering doing a new driveway anyway. So here's your opportunity where your neighbor wants to do it, and maybe you wanted to do it, but now here's your excuse to do it. If your driveway is in perfect condition and it's just his side, I don't know. That's a difficult call. So I wouldn't pay for my neighbors if it was just his pad in front of the garage and it had nothing to do with me. If my garage was separated, I mean, I don't think you're, um, you know, required to do that. Hey Ryan, how hard was it to get people to your channel when you first started doing YouTube? Did you have to do videos daily or weekly? I think I did like four or so a week in the beginning. I do three a week right now. In the summer, I'll probably go back to four when I have Autumn and Ryan. So yeah, it's a little different now. There's a lot more channels that have come onto YouTube in the concrete niche than there was when I started. It seemed to be more open, although I still think there's like a wide open opportunity for anybody that comes in. I'll give you this advice: if you're going to come in, start a channel, whatever you're doing, you're going to have lots of competition. So you need to find out a way that you can stand out and do things a little bit different than the rest of your competition. Because if you do, people are going to gravitate you because you got something special, something different than anybody else, something unique that they want to see. So you gotta do things different than everybody else. Give people a reason to want to watch you. What is it like to be removed? Can you remove me so I can see? I don't really know if you want to be removed because if I remove you, you can never comment again on the channel. That's the deal. I very rarely remove anybody from the comment section, but if they're only here to instigate or they're personally attacking me or a family member or they're attacking the audience, they're just there to argue, I will remove people from the comment section. But I don't do it very often. I have a pretty short list of people that I've removed. It really hasn't been a huge issue overall. The channel, the audience has been very awesome. You guys have been fantastic, very supportive, and I'm going to keep making videos. And like I said earlier, in this live stream. I am going to do more live streams this year than I did last year because I really can't keep, like the last video I just put out, I think it has like 1.5 to 2,000 comments. Obviously, that's not practical that I can respond to those. So I'm going to do more lives to stay connected with you all. I never want to like lose that. I always want to stay connected with the audience. I want you guys to feel like you're part of victory. And I want to feel like you all are part of victory as well. How often do you go to church? So we go Sunday morning, Sunday evening, and Wednesday night. And occasionally there's special meetings where we will go throughout the week as well. King Eric's truck was hilarious. Well, Eddie, anybody that knows about Eric and his truck, he's replacing the bed. So it's not like I damaged his truck. It was something that I was going to replace anyway. So I just did it for fun. Have you never really seen the ocean? Jonathan, I have never seen the ocean. I promise that is true. This winter, I am determined to see the ocean somewhere. I'm uh, definitely going to see the ocean. I'm going somewhere for sure. I don't care, whatever it takes. This is the year. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. Froze up there for just a second again. I was really impressed with how you kept your head when Eric scratched your vehicle. So when he did that, the reaction that you saw from me was most of everything. I mean, I didn't get mad or yell at him or anything, but one of the things I said was that I edited out because I couldn't believe I said it. Because after I said it, I was like, man, that sounded like an old man, like an old parent, with something an old parent would say. You know what I said? I said, man, I can't have anything nice. It's like, I heard my parents say that when I was a kid, and I came out of my mouth and I was like, Ryan, did you just say I can't have anything nice? I like sounded so. Anyways, I was too embarrassed that I had to edit that out. I was like, I cannot believe I just said that. Miguel, shout out to Miguel. He said, hi, Ryan, can I have a shout out? There you go. All right, I'm gonna get out of here in just a few minutes, but I'll spend just a few more minutes with you. You didn't edit that? Did I leave it in the video? I can't remember. I edited the video. If I left it in, I left. Maybe that wasn't edited out. I thought I edited it out. Oh well. So anyway, well maybe I did. I guess I didn't. I thought I did. I think I thought about editing it out. Maybe I didn't. I don't know. But that was pretty funny. It's one of those things where you realize that you're getting really old. Brian, you ever pour concrete across the border? I don't know what you mean across the border. The state border? Yes, I have. Um, $45,000. Richard said I could buy a bathroom trailer. Yeah, right. Why is he called Bugs? Scott Martin asks. I guess when he was young, he crawled around on the floor when he was a toddler or whatever, just a young kid. He crawled around like a little bug. So I think it was his mom or dad, one of them, started calling him Bugs, and it stuck with him for the rest of his life. My personal best largemouth bass was 7 pounds. I know you guys down in Florida are like, we catch 7 pounders in the ponds. Like that's not like that up here in the north. A 7 pounder is like a real trophy up here in Wisconsin. It was a good fish. That's the biggest I've ever caught. And it was on top water, so it was very, very cool, very fun. I don't have that on video, but very. I've caught like four right around 7 pounds, maybe five, but those are my biggest ever. Edward, he said, is your diet working? Yes, sir. It is working. I lost 23 pounds already. I mentioned that earlier. It's going really good. I haven't cheated and intending on sticking with it. Matt said his biggest bass was 6'6". Great, great fish. How many years Bugs got left in him? That's a question for him. I think probably 2 or 3 before he wants to like throw in the puddling boots. But even when he does, he'll probably still come on out and help occasionally. I don't think he's just going to quit working. I think that would probably kill him. He loves to work. He's just he grew up on a farm. It's in his blood. It's part of who he is. So he'll always work on something. Working for me, I'm not exactly sure. Going vegan definitely helps with diets. Daniel, I kind of took the opposite route. I'm actually eating a lot of protein and not a lot of carbs, not a lot of vegetables, although some. No fruits. The sweet fruits like bananas, grapes, like the real sweet fruit, I'm staying away from. Actually, I don't think I've had any fruit whatsoever since I started the diet because most of the fruit it's very sugary. What's the plan for the Tomich family this evening? I think my wife is making a fire. Dinner is going to be pretty soon. It's 4:46 p.m. Central Time right here in Wisconsin right now. So going to be eating dinner soon. Is it true that Bugs is related to Hulk Hogan? Uh, so interestingly enough, they used to call him Little Hulk. When he started working for us, he was like right around 40 years old. And he was, when he started, he was a really, really big dude. He had the same mustache. He looked very similar, but he was much bigger, very muscular. And they used to call him Little Hulk. Let's go Cardinals. All right. I just threw that in there for free, coming from the Allen experience. We still got Jade. Yes. Scotland. I don't. I might have a picture of Bugs back then. I probably do somewhere. I haven't looked. Your biggest walleye you've ever caught. So that's a good question from Kigo the Lunatic. It was 31 inches. So I got you beat. You had a 29.5 inch walleye was your record. I caught a 31 inch on Lake Erie on a charter boat many, many years ago. I would have never caught a fish that large without a charter. They got us on the fish. It was early spring. It was a big female, 31 inches. It was crazy. It was super good. And uh, that was some very good fishing. We limited out every day. I think it was like 3 days or something of fishing, and it was awesome. Lake Erie is an amazing fishery for walleye if you hit it at the right time. Uh, Chris is asking about starting a landscaping business. Can you do it by yourself? Absolutely, absolutely. You can do it by yourself, especially if you're doing just mowing and mulching. You can do all that stuff yourself. Would you make guys pay to fix your truck, Chris? You can't really make your employees pay for stuff that they break. That's just not how things work. They're using your tools, your trucks, your equipment, and if they break something, it's not their responsibility to fix it. I mean, that's up to the guy. I had one guy. This was many years ago. You guys don't know who it is. Um, he was working with us on a project. We were using a pressure washer, and we were pressure washing a very large area. He had his personal truck on the job, and instead of wheeling the pressure washer around, he decided to put the pressure washer on the back of his pickup and drive it around. Well, the pressure washer flew off the truck. It landed upside down on the ground, and it broke the pressure washer. It like the pressure washer wouldn't start after that, and he felt terrible. We finished work. I went home later that evening. He shows up with a box on the back of his truck. It was a brand new pressure washer. And in the meanwhile, because I knew he felt terrible, he, he felt very, very bad. I didn't know he was going to buy a new one. I had no idea. So what I wanted to do is before the next day, I wanted to fix the pressure washer because I wanted him to feel better and know that he didn't cause all these problems for us. So I fixed the pressure washer. It had the carburetor and the linkages and stuff were bent, and I got everything straightened out. I don't know I forgot what else was wrong, but anyways, I got it running. It was fine. But he showed back up to my house later that evening with a brand new box, brand new pressure washer, and I told him to take it back to the store, and he was very happy. I will leave it at that. But no, it's not anybody's. You know, that you guys, it's just not how it works. If they break something, it's on you. It's your business. They're using your stuff. Chris, the English Hedgehog says he sent me an email. I will look for that, sir. Richard, yeah, it would be illegal. You can't dock pay. That's right. That's just not how it works. You can't make employees pay for stuff that they break. New Zealand, Jay's Area 51. Thank you very much. Ryan, have you used the new stamps yet? Pay attention to tomorrow's video. I did use the stamps. You'll see those in the video that comes out tomorrow morning at 7 o'clock. And then I use them again on a much larger area on Thursday. So I've used them twice already. So pay attention to the videos and you will see us using the new magnetic stamps. They are Proline stamps. Good stamps so far. I like them a lot. Catch any crappie, Philip? No, I've never really had luck with crappie. Never fished for them specifically too much. Always struggled finding them. Kind of gave up trying to find them and fish for bass. My go-to. Ryan, why are you so handsome? I don't know. It's hard to say. Come on, that's very funny. How's Mike doing? He, interestingly enough, he called me while we were doing this live stream. He didn't know the live stream was on, but he did call me. So I'm not sure what he wanted, but he's doing really good. Why do you use skid steers? Skid steers are very efficient, very versatile. You can do pretty much everything that we do with a skid loader and the various attachments. I think what you're getting at is why don't you use an excavator? So excavators can do a lot of what skid steers do. They can do a little bit more than skid steers can do in specific situations, but they can't do everything a skid steer can do. Um, you can't plow snow with an excavator. That's one of the things. You can't move large. Um, I guess you could with a dump truck, but basically, I can get everything done I need to do with a skid steer. Excavators we use very infrequently that we actually need one if you're digging footings or something like that, obviously. Where did your son take CDL school? It was like $1,300. I don't remember the name of it. Thank you very much, Lady B. Chris. Explain why, if you have concrete scheduled, you still have to call it in. Okay, well, that's a great question, Chris. Thanks for asking that. Um, Shout out from Fort Worth, Texas to DeForest 817H. Thank you very much. And Zellout Junior can make a return. Not sure about that. Add best wire puller. That's funny. So let me answer that question about how ordering concrete works. So a week in advance, I'll call and I'll put a will call in. So it's an advance order. So for instance, yesterday, which was Friday, I would have called and put an order in for next week, Friday, 1 week in advance. I say, I think I'm going to be pouring some concrete over in this town. I'm going to need 2 trucks at 8 o'clock in the morning, another 2 trucks at 12:30 in the afternoon. So they put that on their schedule because they have to schedule. They have to have some kind of idea of what the orders are. So when they are full, they're full. So they don't take too many orders. Then as it gets closer and closer, and when the day comes, you have to call back and make it a go. So you try to be very considerate with your supplier. So if you know you're not, say you have rain and you know you're not going to use that order, I try to call, at least a day or two in advance and say, hey, that order I put on Friday morning, it's not going to work out. Take that away, and they'll refill that order. It's not a problem for them. They have tons of customers, and they'll fill that. What you don't want to do is have orders. Say that Friday comes, I call them at 7 o'clock, concrete's ordered for 8, and I say, hey, by the way, I don't need those trucks. Well, they have those trucks like ready for you. That's inconsiderate. You try to work your partners with your supply company. So you work together. They take care of you. You try to take care of them, and you respect them. They respect you. You do what you can to help them, and they do the same. That's kind of how it works out. You develop a relationship with your supplier. I know a lot of guys use several different suppliers. You're never able to really develop a relationship like that, but that's how it works for me. That's why I use one company exclusively because we take care of each other. I like their product. I have very few problems with their product. So it's a good relationship. Why does Tino not have a victory shirt? So Tino, that was a question that a lot of people have. Like, I wasn't taking care of Tino. Tino's the oddball out. You're not giving him shirts and stuff like that. So the reason Tino didn't get his gear is because we had that breakfast meeting that day, and Tino didn't show up, even though he was supposed to. And that's the day I took the other employees to the winter shop to get all their gear. So Tino will have all of his gear on Monday morning. He just missed that meeting and wasn't able to get it. There's nothing like Tino's going to be wearing all the victory stuff too. There's nothing against Tino. There was just a misunderstanding from some of you not understanding why he didn't have the stuff yet, but he's getting it. Thank you, New Age Caprice. He said, I learned a lot from your channel. I appreciate that. that had me do my patio on my own. That's pretty cool. Hopefully, everything worked out for you. Hopefully, it was very easy. There was a guy, Ryan, what time do you go to sleep? Probably around like to actually fall asleep, probably around 11:30, 12 o'clock, generally speaking. Right around there. There was a guy last year, and he worked on his own project, and it didn't go. He was communicating with me and trying to get tips and stuff, and it didn't go exactly how he wanted it to go. He was a little disappointed, but when you're first starting your very first job, if you don't have any experience, like it's not as easy as it looks on the camera. If you're a newbie, trust me, you should like try to get a little experience before you just go pouring concrete on your own, especially like a patio. That's a good amount of concrete there. Ryan, can I get it? I don't understand that question. I'm sorry. Water curing. Water curing is it's known to be probably the number one preferred method of curing concrete. So if you don't know what water curing is, it's just like what it says. The concrete is poured, and after it is just hard enough to not be damaged by water, you start saturating the surface with water, and you continually keep it wet for several days. If you've ever seen bridges that have been poured, they'll have them covered with burlap. And a lot of times you'll drive under the overpass and it'll be dripping water down off the burlap. What they're doing is they're water curing the new concrete under burlap. The burlap helps to keep it moist, keep the water in. So they're trying to keep that moisture in the concrete for as long a period as possible. Because what happens is the concrete will develop its full strength potential, and water curing is the best method. It's not practical really, for driveways and patios and walks. If you're doing any kind of volume, you can't like set out hoses at everybody's house for a week at a time. So we use a cure and seal compound. We seal it. We use a chemical basically to take the place, which is not as good as water curing, but it is sufficient. Troy, thank you very much. Couple more minutes, guys. I'm getting hungry. I'm gonna go eat some dinner myself. um, Somebody asked, do I like the EcoBoost? I haven't had any trouble with it. I think I have like 80 some thousand miles on the F-150. I know, they're known to develop some issues and stuff, but I haven't had any issues at all. Lots of power for a V6. It's twin turbo, obviously, but it's a V6 and it has a lot of get up and go, surprisingly. A. Smith said he loves his F-150 with the EcoBoost. It is the 3.5 version, by the way, if anybody was wondering that. What has been the biggest contracted job you have done? I think it was in one driveway. I think we had like a close to $100,000 driveway. I did work for one person who had several projects that was much, much more money than that. But that was like several projects. That wasn't just one thing. The one driveway we did, it was about $100,000. It was all colored and stamped, inlays, borders, and then it had the bands running through for the joints, colored and stamped concrete as well, and it was big. Somebody said, "Are you aware there's a recall on your Silverado?" So there's one recall for suspension bolts, and then people have been saying there's another recall on something else. I haven't got another notification about the second recall. I do know about the one though. I can get patio and driveways here for 8 a foot. Most charge around $12 a foot. So $8 a foot, it really depends. That's it's kind of average around here. $8 to $10 a square foot for a patio. We won't get $12 a square foot, not just for a standard broom finish patio, unless it's small. Then you would get more than that actually. Somebody asked why we don't lay a vapor barrier or a membrane in the garage slabs to stop damp coming through. We have to in England. It's really not necessary. We don't have any problems. If you're going to overlay, then you probably would want to do that. If you're going to put a coating on the new concrete, you definitely would want to do that. Are you selling the Mustang with your wrap? Yes, I'll probably peel like the victory portion of it off, but I'll leave the American flag wrap on it. How come Bugs doesn't say adios? Bugs doesn't like to say adios, so I don't pressure him to say it. He kind of does. He's on his own thing. Troy, thank you very much. Eric's Fix Your Truck Fund. Are you really going to drive around with that punching bag? Um, yeah, sometimes, it depends what we're doing, if we're going to an event or doing something fun or meet up. So at times I will drive around with the punching bag. So I'm going to put a brace on it. So if you saw the video, which you did, it swings. So I'm going to put a brace from the post to the bag and, run a strap or something so it won't swing at all. So it's more secure. But yeah, we'll drive around with it. It'll be fun. I'm gonna weld up and cut out with a plasma cutter on the top, kick me or something like that. Kick me victory style, something fun. What would you say the average concrete price is here in the Midwest? 150, $160 is probably average right now in the Midwest. I mean, when you say the Midwest, that's Michigan, and that can spread. Kind of depends on your definition. Because I know like in South Dakota, I know a guy from there, and his price was way higher than mine last year. It was like $220, and that's only a couple states over. So it really varies, but really around here, it's 150, $160. Any advice to all the new young concrete business owners out there just getting into it? Uh, yeah, I have advice. Like you guys have a great opportunity because there's very few young guys getting into it. Most young guys don't want to get into the trades. So I think you have an open door of opportunity that if you work really hard, you can be successful. It's not going to be hard to beat out your competition because I don't think you're going to have a ton of it because us guys are getting older. A lot of us are, I mean, I'm kind of in the middle, but there's a lot of guys that are retiring. So I think it's a good opportunity for you. Thank you very much, King Nice Neck. Send $10 aside. I know it's not much. Absolutely, it is. I appreciate that very, very much. Are you a Ford or Chevy guy? So I have both. I really don't have a preference with vehicles. I'm not a Chevy guy or a Ford guy or a Dodge guy. I like all the trucks, man. The Dodges have the Cummins, the sound like nothing beats the sound of a Cummins. I don't have a Dodge, but I would like to have one because they have the Cummins. They have other problems, transmission problems, but they have the Aisin transmissions in the heavy duty trucks, which are good transmissions. The Duramaxes and the Chevys, good motor. Ford, like my F-150, super comfortable. I love that truck. So I'm not really a brand guy. I like all the trucks. I think they're all nice. Seriously pondering buying your Mustang. There's been a couple other people that I know that shouldn't buy the Mustang that had asked to buy it. I tell them no. The Mustang is a toy. It is not a daily driver. It is not going to be as reliable as a stock, just factory car. So if you can't really afford toys, don't buy toys because they're cool. Invest, do what you need to do. Eventually, when you are more successful, then you can start buying toys. But don't buy toys just because they're cool. Save your money. TNT Concrete, thank you very much. I appreciate that very much. He said he's taken some of my advice and he appreciates the channel. I appreciate you very much as well. Uh, how do you how do you guys repair concrete when kids scribble their names on it after you pour? That comes from Dire Fan. So unfortunately, there's really nothing you can do. So you can take like a rub brick, which is a very abrasive, uh, basically material with a handle on it. You can rub it out, but unfortunately, it's going to leave a mark. It's going to leave a very dark mark there. It'll be permanent. So there's not a great way. It's probably better than you might just want to leave them alone, I guess. If you rub it out, it's going to get dark. It's never going to look like the rest. It's going to be a slightly darker shade. So unfortunately, the damage is permanent in one way or the other. The Mustang is a 2000. Victory clock in the background is off by 2 minutes. Come on. You know what? Somebody gave me that clock and I set it and I have never touched it ever. So it only being off by a couple minutes is amazing. And it's been over a year for sure. Can't beat the Duramax Allison combo. great combo. That's why, one of the reasons why I bought my Duramax. I used to have an LBZ 2006, 3500 Chevy, same thing, the Duramax. The thing never gave me an ounce of trouble, and it had a lot of power. The LBZ was a really good Duramax. Can you show the YouTube diploma? I think you mean this here. Sure, I can show it. It's YouTube sends you this. It's like an accomplishment or whatever when you get 100,000 subs. Wow, is that thing dusty? I should clean that off. But that's what they send you. So when you get 100,000 subscribers, they send you this plaque. It's a big accomplishment to reach that. So that's cool. And then they don't send any more of those out until you reach 1 million subscribers, which is an enormous amount. And then they send you a gold plaque. And I think that's the only two that they send out. It's neat that they do that. I mean, in a sense, you're kind of a business partner with YouTube. They make money off you and you make money off of them. So to do something small like that, it's kind of cool. Did Daniel write you a ticket for killing the grass? No, he didn't bother me with that. And for a good reason. Just wait for one of the future videos and that brown spot will disappear from some of the work that we did. There's a Ruby at 50 million. I might have heard that before. So 50 million subscribers, that's like Mr. Beast. Diamond at 10 million. I'm not sure. 10 million as well. This is not something I have to worry about. So I'm happy to be where I am. Very, very, very blessed to be where I am right now. All right, guys. I said how long have we been going? Been going a while. Almost 2 hours. It's crazy how fast the time goes. I can tell it's getting long because I start to lose my voice. And I'm starting to lose my voice a little bit. Thank you very much, Fishing TH. Very, very generous of you. So my voice is starting to go, and I'm getting hungry. Okay, and I got to make some phone calls. So I had a job, tell you this before I go. I had a job lined up for this week. It's a big job, several days, and then just a couple few days before we were going to start the job, the guy emailed me that they're going on vacation and they won't be back for a week. So today I'm scrambling to try to fill in those. I mean, it's not the end of the world. I have a lot of work, but you do have to scramble, because some people don't want you to come for various different reasons. So you have to find some people to fill in that want to go right away. So I have some people calling that I've been calling and say, hey, can we do your job like right away? We'll be there Monday. So I think I got it pretty much figured out already, but just one of those things. You should do a video starring your son Daniel as a sheriff. So speaking of Daniel as a sheriff, he started wearing like a big set of gold paper keys on his waist regularly. And I asked him the other day, what were the keys about? And he said that they are the keys to the jail. So it's very interesting. All right, you guys. Well, I appreciate all of you. My voice is going. I'm getting tired and I'm hungry and thirsty. So I appreciate it. Like I said, I'll be doing more of these this summer. Try to do one every week or two. You guys are awesome. Appreciate it. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning on the video that's coming out at 7. All right. I'll see you guys all in the next one. Adios.